The issue is that you think you own an asset, then in reality, you are the asset that is actually being owned by a bank, credit union, or any other financial institution. People now have a lot of debt, and it's just getting worse and worse with the inflation, food, gas, electricity prices, and all other costs of living getting so out of control. During such times, personal finance and education is of utmost importance. Even now, you may be struggling to pay off debt. And what do you think is going to happen with the current economic outlook? Even more debt. There's so much debt you might owe to so many different institutions, in part due to lack of personal finance education in learning institutions such as schools, universities, and colleges. Do you also find that being in debt and paying interest rates is hard? Well, the most painful thing about it is that if you owe money for a thing that you're using, that means you don't actually own that thing. You're just renting it from an institution. And as soon as you stop paying for it, you will actually lose it. Best examples are car and home loans, where if you fail to pay debt and miss at least a few payments, you will actually lose the underlying asset. In this case, you will lose either a house or a car, which I find just insane. The issue is that you think you own an asset, then in reality, you are the asset that is actually being owned by a bank, credit union, or any other financial institution that you're paying to. And you're paying money to them monthly for whatever asset you think that you actually own in order to be able to use that asset, which is actually just a rent for you. This means that you're the asset that is owned until you pay off the debt for the asset that you're purchasing. Of course, sometimes you owe money and do not actually own anything tangible, which is the case with student loan debt, where you own education that's in your mind, and also credit card debt, where you owe money to institutions, banks, for random things you buy on credit, which is usually not assets, just expenses like you pay for electricity, groceries, or whatever else, and just accumulate debt you have to pay off later at an insane interest rate. These interest payments do add up and cut into your expenses and disposable income significantly, and these affect your quality of life by decreasing it. You can cripple your personal finance if you're not careful. Just look at the news and you'll see people with no positive finance habits losing their livelihood, houses, cars, family members, relationships, all due to money and mismanagement and crippling debt, obviously. As you have definitely noticed, prices are constantly increasing and are expected to climb even higher throughout the rest of this year and likely throughout the next year. People are spending more and more on food, gas, and everything else necessary to live. In today's video, you'll find out strategies for personal finance about how you can pay off debts and make your life easier and freer. You'll understand how you can do, you'll understand what you can do about your debts to pay them off as fast and as efficiently as possible. Hey, my name is Domas and I live in Lithuania, a small European Union nation which is right next to Slavic giants Russia and Belarus. As you guys already know, these countries are going through some serious scuffle, and I'm here to help you upgrade your life and expand your knowledge on personal finance to help you on your life's journey. Now, with the war between Ukraine and Russia still raging on, immigration and inflation getting out of control, life is getting a little bit out of hand, and everyone is sitting on high stress levels due to uncertainty. So, what can you do? As covered in the previous step, you should already be tracking your expenses. If you want to take it a step further, it's best to track the expenses while allocating them to the essentials or wants category so that you can later see how much you spent on which side and which category. Another small improvement is to sell the things that are not needed or used very often, which will generate a little bit of income and will unburden your house. Or those that are very expensive to keep. For example, if you're living in a city center or near it, you should look into whether it's actually worth keeping a car because parking costs are quite high and they're constantly there and need to be paid. There's also gas, which is expensive, and on top of that, you also have car maintenance costs, road costs, pollution costs, and many other expenses associated with your car. Other expensive examples are keeping swimming pool, air conditioner, in-house sauna, boats, garages that are empty and never used. Many other examples, but these are just from the top of my mind. I know some of these are not applicable to you, but these may have been in your thoughts for the future, and I urge you to look into the real cost of these items, and if you can or want and actually are able to afford them. Anything you can stop spending your money on and start saving will go a very long way over the years. What you can and should do is focus on controlling what you can control and improving what you can improve. In this case, it's related to your personal finance skills and your awareness about your financial state and how debts are impacting your life and what you can do to pay them off in order to improve your life. Here's 6 steps and strategies you need to implement to pay off your debts. First, understand your debts. This includes making a list of all your debts, including auto loan, student loan, mortgage, credit card, personal loans, etc. Then add the remaining balances and interest rates, rank them in order of interest rate, meaning the higher the interest rate, the higher the loan is in your priority list. There can be no financial progress without true interest. This is personal finance advice number 2, which is start tracking your spending and expenses for the next few months. You need to understand where all your money is coming from and what where all your money is going into, meaning what comes into your hands and what leaves your hands. See where you're spending more than you should be spending, and see where you spend more than you need to spend. Maybe you're going out or traveling too often, or you're not aware how much you spend on smoking or daily energy drinks or weekly Friday ordering in or going out. All of these costs actually add up very, very fast to quite significant amounts, even if they're small in the beginning, and by themselves, they do add up into very big amounts once you just tally them up. Maybe you won't know until you start tracking how much you're actually spending. And this is mainly used to foster your awareness to be able to make more conscious decisions in your life and your spending. Number 3 is a very obvious one: decrease your expenses. There's many ways to look at money, spending, and budgeting. In the beginning, I think it's very important to distinguish between rational and emotional spending. Rational spending is when you spend only what you money on only things that you truly need and buy only what you actually need. For example, you need food. Just simple healthy food, nothing fancy, and that's what you buy. This is rational spending. And emotional, on the other hand, would be buying a box of chocolates, cookies, because you just feel a little bit sad and just need a pick me up after a long week. Yeah, you know it's bad for you, and you don't really need it, but you buy it anyway just to make yourself feel better, which is a type of emotional spending. It is better if you choose what you do with your money, and and make better choices logically, not emotionally, because as you are well aware, your emotions will drive your spending right into the ground. For this, you need to make a list of only essentials, or rather fixed expenses. This list contains anything that you need at bare minimum to survive. So, food budget, rent, mortgage payments, health and insurance payments, public transport, maybe mobile phone payments, etc. Next, make a wants list. This list contains anything not in the essentials, such as car lease, phone subscription, Netflix, monthly clothes, shopping, going out, cinema tickets, anything else that does not go into essentials goes into this list. Then try to minimize everything in the wants category as much as possible. Cut out anything that you can, and possibly look into doing the same with essentials. Not cutting out, just making them smaller. For example, stop renting a huge apartment when you can only afford a room. Don't buy Wagyu beef, stick to plain beef. Consider, do you actually need a luxury membership, luxury gym membership, or a normal gym will do exactly the same thing as the luxury one? It's exactly the same benefits. You just need to reconsider what you actually need, one, and most specifically can afford. Easy ones would be to see if your phone, internet, water, gas, and electricity providers have competitors that are cheaper or offer special discounts for people who switch companies. This is very often the case, so you might want to look into that one. Next, expenses tracking. You should definitely do that. As mentioned in the previous step, you should definitely start tracking expenses in this manner for essentials and wants, so you can later see how much you can spend and how much you're actually spending on each of the categories. A good step further would be to sell the things that you're not using very often or don't actually need. This will give a little bit of income, but that's not the case. Sometimes things are very expensive to keep. These 6 personal finance tips and strategies? Well, in a few months, you'll notice that you're consistently paying off your debt at an increasing pace as your mandatory interest payments are getting lower and lower. And you're freeing up more money to pay off subsequent debts through increasing income, decreasing expenses, and through paying off highest interest rate debts first. Soon you'll be debt free and able to start saving or investing money into your future, or just enjoy debt-free, less stressful lifestyle while using the money you saved from not paying the interest rates to build a hobby or to try out something new that you always dreamed about, and anything else in between that tickles your fancy. At the very least, you will not be caught without your pants on once the winter comes or harder times fall on us. Ensure that you consistently apply these strategies by tracking your spending, minimizing expenses and non-essentials, paying off highest interest rate debts, and just tracking everything. And you will see how your financial situation is improving every single month. Number four, look into possibilities for debt consolidation or renegotiate lower interest rates. Not all countries have a debt consolidation option, but look into if yours does. If that is not an option, try to renegotiate the interest rates. Shaving off a few percent or even half a percent on interest rates can mean saving thousands a year based on your debt levels. Number five, pay off debt. Actually pay it off. I covered this in the previous shorts regarding strategies and methods how to pay off debt, and I linked them for you below. Financially, the best option for you is to start paying off debt with the highest interest rate. So in the previous strategy, you ranked all of your interest rates and debts, and now you already know which of the debt has highest interest rate. So your task is to start paying off the one with the highest interest rates. Cover all of the other debts with the minimum amount needed and put all of the money that you can towards paying off the one with the highest interest rate. This will have the strongest financial impact in relative terms on your financial lifestyle, even if it does not seem that way in absolute values. For example, 100 euros at 5% is only 5 euros, while 200 euros at 3% debt is 6 euros. So don't look only at the absolute numbers because they can be misleading. Lastly, another true and tested personal finance golden nugget is number six, increase your income. Sadly, more work may actually be the answer you need, even if it's not the answer you want. If you don't make enough money, you won't be able to pay off debt fast enough, especially if your debt is quite high. Regardless of how much you save, you need to make more money in order to pay it off faster. Best option here is getting a promotion, which is obviously not always possible because if it was, you probably would have already have it. Other options involve finding a second job, freelancing, starting a side hustle like Uber driving, food deliveries, baking and selling on the side. Tutoring is also a very good one. Anything that works for you and can increase your income is very good choice to look